What's up, humans? It's Steven, and today I have something a little different on the channel. So I was scrolling through YouTube and I came across this video called 7 Southern US Accents You Won't Understand. And you may not be able to tell because I don't really have an accent. Well, I do, but it's pretty subtle. You're not really gonna hear it that much. I am Southern born and raised, true and true. If you've been around on the channel for a while, you've probably heard me talk about where I'm from. If you're new to the channel, I want you to comment right now where you think I'm from based on what my accent sounds like. Bonus points if you can guess the city, and I'll tell you at the end where I'm from. I'm not sure if it's gonna end up on this list because I don't feel like our accent here in my state is all that hard to understand. There are some pretty thick ones here, but I don't think they're all that hard to understand. So I'm excited to get into this. I hope you are too. Let's check it out.
If you take a road trip through the American Deep South and decide to stop for gas, you might see some big alligators, but you'll hear some even bigger accents.
You definitely won't see alligators here where I'm at.
Same thing you hear every single day. You turn on your
That sounds like he's from like Tennessee or something. That's like a Nashville type accent.
On the radio, I searched the mountains,
I'm really curious
the
if I'm gonna be
beaches,
able to
the
catch
bayous
these.
to find the most intriguing American accents of all. And all I'm going to say is that gator is the least of your worries. So can you guess these accents?
All right, let's see. Let's see if I can guess them.
We heard the weather siren go off, and
Siren.
I got the girls. We got in the hallway. And
Okay, it's
Ryan
definitely
walked
deep
to the
south.
back and opened the door.
Door.
And he
That's
heard
deep
it.
south.
Well, isn't that an amazing accent? I've been told the biggest difference between the southern accents is that they either speak with a southern drawl or a southern twang.
Yeah.
Actually, Joey kind of sent me then in the direction of we were looking for another potter. I found his son-in-law who was a potter who owned.
Sorry, I was trying to pause it. That's an easy one. That's Alabama. I know for a fact that's Alabama. When I was in high school, my senior year of high school, I went to Alabama to compete in a rocket science competition at NASA in Huntsville. And oh man, I was just so amazed at how thick the accents were, especially like the people at the hotels and stuff. And it was just, that's an Alabama accent. I know for a fact that's an Alabama. I would say that's about the quintessential Southern accent. Like that's the one that everyone tries to do on like movies and TV when they try to do a Southern accent. I think that's pretty much the accent that you think of when you hear Southern accent. Alabama, I'm calling it.
Property right over there.
I call them chiggers. You also get them in if you're in the woods this time of the year. And some people call them red bulbs.
Yeah, you hear that long drawl, like deeper in the South, they have more of a drawl rather than a twang.
Drawl. Pretty relaxed sounding, don't you think? A drawl just means that the vowels are pronounced kind of long and sound like they're split into 2 syllables. This accent goes all the way back to the Scots-Irish settlers, and then plantation life had a huge impact on the evolution.
I didn't know that.
You hear some strong African-American sounds in there too.
Why I talk the way I do because the good Lord blessed me with this accent.
Amazing. Well,
I like
Deep
it.
South is where you hear the strongest accents of all, but it definitely depends on which neck of the woods you're in.
Do y'all not realize how silly y'all look?
Yeah,
Accusing me of
this is
fake
110%
accent.
Alabama.
Just 'cause I have all my teeth in my head and I'm not married to my brother doesn't mean I can't qualify
I'm
for
not
a
married to my
Southern
brother.
Oh, exactly. Well, let's get out of the woods for the last clue.
accent. I got a granddaddy and a mama and
Mama.
a granny and a papa. So I got all, they could never have something.
Oh man, yeah, that's so thick.
Where I'm from,
It's so
there's
thick.
nothing there. All we had to do was ride dirt roads and would go to pastures. And then I had a little Altima car. And one time my
Altima
dad
car?
got so mad because I did donuts in the pasture of my Altima car and it caught on fire.
Here comes the reveal. It is the accent of the one and only Alabama.
Yeah, I told you
By the way,
it's probably gonna be the easiest one on the list, to be honest with
The
you.
American Deep South.
He worked in the field a while, but he played music in slavery time. Had him and old man Milton Braces for the fiddle player. Still, that guy was a red dress on, Eliza Jane.
I can't even understand what he's saying, to be honest with you.
Eliza Jane.
Well, I hope I'm
Yeah,
not
his
outright
accent's a
giving
little
it
too
away
thick
here,
for
but I
me.
can't resist. This state is known for its rich blues heritage, and the singer is a great example of how the accents have been shaped by the music and culture. Seriously, music has superpowers when it comes to preserving the way people speak. You can probably name a few legends yourself. Just like Alabama, you get that deep South rhythm even in speaking.
I don't care about the budget. I'm going to go out. I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to travel.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say Kentucky, mainly because I don't really know what people from Kentucky sound like. I haven't heard a lot of Kentucky.
Y'all enjoy at least hearing me talk or something like that, but I appreciate it.
Of course, like all over the South,
I don't know.
there's more than one way to talk.
Please, please don't ever talk to me like this, and I'm fixing to do it in a fake Southern accent. The one they use in the movies, the one like they do on Steel Magnolias.
Is this Tennessee?
Crazy.
I am pleasant. I just saw Drum eating in this morning at the Piggly Wiggly.
Yeah, that's an awful Southern accent.
What's real and what's fake? Either way, it's an
I'm gonna say Tennessee or Kentucky, cause he mentioned blues. It sounds like bluegrass.
You'll hear it down in Mississippi.
Mississippi.
You got it right. Go buy yourself a blues harp. This night is about to catch.
Okay, Mississippi, Kentucky, two places that I mean, I've never been, but I've also never really met anybody from those places. So those two accents are gonna be hard for me to place. Mississippi, I never would have got that.
Fire.
We're all kin somewhere, ain't we, Dean?
Yeah.
Huh?
A long line, yeah. I'd say me and you are too on the light side.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you're kin. Dad's telling me how much kin. I see my funeral home the other night, and he's telling me how much kin me and you are.
Well, we kin on your mom, on your grandma.
Your accent comes from the people who you hear speak the most, and if you live in the mountains all your life, you will naturally learn speech that is quite unique, and you hear it sung in the incredible blues, rock, and soul.
That is one thing about the South. Like, no matter what state you're in, the further into the mountains and the rural areas you go, the thicker the accent. So I live in the biggest city in my state, which is why I don't really have that much of an accent. Like, the more metropolitan areas, the accent tends to fade away for various reasons. But yeah, anywhere out into the mountains, going up north, the northern parts of your state, you're typically going to have the thicker accents out there.
Lots of warm and friendly mountain folk out here, although they probably regret that they've been discovered, if you ask me.
Mostly just mind your own business and let everybody else mind their business. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be left alone. Let us do our thing. We'll let you do your thing.
This place has the most
I don't know this
documented
one.
caves in the US, more than 8,000 of them. Hopefully nothing lives in there, but if you know much about moonshine, you probably know a certain legend from these parts, and I'm going to keep him until you've given up guessing. You might want to fetch your whiskey.
So it's got to be like, so it's Tennessee. He gave it away by saying whiskey. This is Tennessee for sure.
When I was in the Marine Corps, by gosh, and drove a truck, and I ain't never been nowhere that didn't want to come back. I like it. Wouldn't live nowhere else. Me and a friend of mine, we garden a good bit. Plant a lot of sweet corn to sell, taters.
That's a smooth one though. That's a really smooth Southern accent.
More Appalachian, and in the West it's more deep South. But I still can't place this woman. Can you?
My little mom and daddy never said ugly words ever.
Okay.
Until my sister was going to make.
I'm willing to bet money that she's from Nashville. Like, she sounds like a Nashville blues type of woman, Nashville country singing type of woman. And he did mention whiskey, so I'm gonna say this is Tennessee. Those are the only two clues I have. The other people's accent I could not quite place, but I'm assuming it's Tennessee. She sounds like she's from Nashville or that general area. She might be like from outside of Nashville.
Marry a little later in life, and she was gonna marry this hoop-de-doo man.
But if you want to hear the best accent of all, how about we see a guy about some moonshine?
Anything that I've ever used to make liquor out of. Sugar, meal, rye, barley, whatever. The jars it's put in, I think it's my business.
Now, there's some people here that sound like that.
And I figure what's mine is mine.
If you haven't guessed yet, there's probably no hope. But try this. I was told to listen for a shh sound on the S's. Should we see if it's true?
They had a bear in a cage. You know, we're famous for the bear.
They showed Dolly Parton herself.
People would stop at this market. They would buy Cokes for this bear.
It's definitely true. And now you know where we've been this whole time.
This is Tennessee. Okay.
Another fun sound is the click of these buttons.
That's actually extremely close to where I'm at. That's why I do kind of recognize that one guy's accent.
Why would TikTok assume that I'm saying Sprite bean roll?
instead of what I was actually saying, which is Sprite Zero. I get it. Cornbread is a hard accent to understand.
Cornbread is a hard accent.
Baseball and they have bourbon. Good on them, but that's all.
Yo.
In the cities out here in the mountains, that's a whole other story.
What's some lingo in the area? You ain't lying. Man, that percentage.
You ain't lying,
is big
yeah.
too. Come on, man. Like that. Like, man, come on. What are you doing, man? Should we go shooting? Yeah, we're gonna go shoot.
It's a small town. You don't have much in it, but you know it goes off a lot.
Okay. So, this is what I was talking about. Like, they have that thick mountain Appalachian type of accent. Like, these people are definitely in one of the more rural areas of the South. It's not North Carolina, so I'm gonna say it's. Hold on, I gotta hear a little bit more. Hold on.
Working on this place for a long time.
You're trying to rehab it?
No, man.
It looks like it's beyond hope.
It is beyond help.
Poorest county in America, by the way.
Poorest
the
county in
accent that lives
America.
in these small rural towns is completely surrounded by beautiful rolling hills, dense forests,
That's West Virginia.
sparkling lakes, and the people have a strong connection
pretty
to the
sure that's
land
West
and traditions.
Virginia.
Already going up and down. You see what I'm saying? He walks straight, back and forth. He does not side to side. All that bull crap. He goes straight.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an Appalachian Southern accent. I'm gonna say West Virginia.
Do better than average. You know, don't listen to the man.
I think that was about.
I never been to West Virginia,
maybe.
though.
Well, this accent is also known to accompany bluegrass music.
Oh shit! Do they have bluegrass in West Virginia?
How's that for a great?
Maybe I'm wrong.
Tuck Florida. I was just having an argument with the boy up the road about who has the bigger trailer. It's me.
You ever have a day where you just feel beautiful? I don't know if you can hear him or not, but
This guy's
Saying
beard
you're
is
crazy,
immaculate.
sometimes you just gotta stop and appreciate nature.
Turns out the further south you go, the stronger the accent gets. People say the smooth Moonlight Magnolia drawl is quite recognizable. It's a mix of
Moonlight
southern and
Magnolia drawl.
midwestern
I've never heard
tones,
of
which
that.
came about from contact with the English via commerce in the 18th and 19th century. But it was stigmatized as an improper way to talk. So it's actually.
I mean, all Southern accents are stigmatized as improper.
We really shouldn't. Anyway, want to learn some words?
We got guitar.
Guitar.
Number 2, we got water.
Water.
Donkey. Number 4.
Yo.
Got you there. Not all accents from this area.
Yeah, water.
Cities have their own thing.
You can't keep on putting the people down in the hood because the people you see on TV today might be just from the hood.
Yes, sir.
And Shepherd Square has produced a whole bunch of people from the hood. I can't name them all, but there's going to be
Okay,
a
yeah.
calendar
People
made.
kind of talk
It'll
like
have
that
these
here.
people's birthday on there.
I'm not being a jerk. You guys just don't know what it's like to be a young Southern man reading a book and be like, all right, if that's how that's spelled, I've been saying it wrong.
Well, that's a good reason right there to make sure that you can also read whatever you are hearing.
Hey, yo. Nah, that's actually pretty funny because like I told you, so I live in the biggest city in my state. It's very metropolitan. And so like growing up, the Southern accent was really stigmatized. Like here in the city, you're very likely to get made fun of if you have a thick Southern accent, and especially if you use the dialect. So in school, like, man, our teachers used to hammer us. Like if we're reading something and either our accent comes out or we say stuff like ain't, or, you know, I don't know, just the dialect of the South, they would be quick to correct us. Like, no, it is not ain't a word. That was a big thing in the South. Ain't a word. For those who don't know what ain't means is not. It's short for is not. That's what we use here in the South, but that's funny.
Been Chicago, Florida, Georgia, you know, places like that.
Okay, I'm 95% sure this is West Virginia.
I worked up there, but
he seals the deal for me.
There ain't no place like home.
Where
Got the
is
Confederate flag in
home?
the
It's a
background.
gorgeous place with unpredictable weather.
Yeah.
Kentucky.
I was so wrong. I told you, I don't know people in Kentucky.
You got me spraying out in this hot ass weather.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Gary, you know what I'm talking about.
I don't even need to hear anymore. I don't even need to hear anymore. Louisiana. Everybody knows the Louisiana accent. Whether you're from the South, you don't even have to be from the States. You know a Louisiana accent when you hear one. That is probably the most different accent in the entirety of the United States. Like, the culture there is so different down in the bayou. Like, I feel like if Louisiana wanted to succeed from the United States, like, everybody would be like, you know what? Good for you. Like, you are your own sovereign nation. Go ahead. You can succeed from the states. This is hands down Louisiana. I'm not wrong about that.
What you sent to my phone?
What I sent to you?
Talking about something, hey, honey, I'll be there in a minute. You don't even like honey.
You don't even like honey.
People are saying that when she speaks, you can hear the hood, the country, and Southern Belle all at once. And that's the kind of interesting accent I just love. But perhaps you've heard it done more like this.
The sky is about to fall out. This is north of I-10.
Oh, she's a Cajun. That's like a Gambit from
This state is
X-Men.
actually really special. It has two very specific dialects that are different from everything else in the video. Yep, I said dialects. Ready for some clues? We're about to totally lose the drawl.
I didn't understand a single word you just
Sometimes we
said.
start a conversation in French and finish in English. Sometimes we get it started in English and finish it in French. We go back and forth.
Okay, I understood what he said there. Sometimes we start a conversation in English, we finish in French, start in French, finish in English. I get that. That's fine. When he was singing, I didn't know what he was saying.
Nobody around here thinks they got an accent. They say, look at that guy. He got an accent.
I might buy me a house
I love the Louisiana accent. I can't really do it though.
Leave from uptown. This is where I know, you know.
Native Americans have lived here for more than 1,000 years, but a long time ago, mid-1700s, a bunch of French speakers were exiled here from Canada
Down in the
not bowing
bayou.
down to the crown, the rebels. So now you have these little pockets of French speakers surviving in certain places.
I got a friend who's got a chicken farm.
chicken farm.
Big chicken farm. But when he started out, it wasn't big, no. So what he do, he started with just a few chicken and they haul up there and he
Yeah,
built
that's
a
how you know they're
blacktop road
Cajun.
by
They
his
don't
house.
say
Next
that
thing, they were
CH
German
the
and
same.
Irish immigrants, Africans, Caribbeans, Spanish from the Canary Islands. No wonder they speak the way they do.
They was 4 cents a pound for the black one. The green one, we had to put that in the water to let it chill itself. And later on, we go back and put it on the one
Wow,
pound.
yeah.
And about
His accent's
3 or
different
4 weeks
too.
later, we had to come back and turn it. They turn black.
What an awesome accent. They can only be...
Yeah, I've never been to Louisiana, which is what I assume he's about to say. I've never been to Louisiana. I'm not a big fan of humidity. I don't think I'll ever go. The Bayou Gators, it's not my cup of tea.
Cajuns. Now, Cajuns speak a unique kind of French, so naturally their
Cajuns.
English has a spicy Cajun flavor too. If you call yourself American, you have to know where we are. It is gumbo and
Okay, I take it back.
Mardi Gras
That was the
country.
easiest
Good
one.
old
Alabama's the second
Louisiana.
easiest one.
You
That,
would
yeah,
not
that
get
was
that, but if
too
you're not
easy.
into spicy, I have some sugar just for you.
I'm an advocate of being proud of where you're from, so let me just paint you a picture of how country the country is.
Country
I
the
know a
country.
grown man by the name of Pee Wee, and nobody knows his government.
All right. Easy. Again, easy. She is 100% a Georgia peach. My dad's from Georgia. I know that Georgian accent pretty well. I cannot do a Georgian accent as well as I can do the southern accent of where I'm from or other southern accents, but I know the Georgian accent when I hear it. She looks like a Georgia peach. Like, there's no way she's not from Georgia.
Name. I grew up going to tractor pulls. This is where everybody bring their tractor and see how far they could pull stuff.
100%.
I used
dog.
to see how many grasshoppers I in a jar. One time I got 24.
Can you hear the sweetest sound she has?
Yeah,
Down this end of the world, you still get a deep...
That's exactly what I was about to say. The way I knew it is, it's very sweet. Like, if you listen to it again, it's very sweet. And for those of you who aren't from the South, when we say sweet, we basically just mean it's pleasing. It's very pleasing to hear. It's soft on the ears. There's not a lot of choppiness to her accent. It flows very well. It just feels so natural. When Georgians speak, their accent sounds so pure and so true. It's I don't know, it just seems so natural for them to talk that way. Some people, when they speak with their southern accent, sometimes you feel like they're leaning into that drawl a little too much, even though that's just natural for them. Georgians, it's just like the perfect amount of drawl and twang mixed together. It's so sweet.
Drool, but it's softer, practically dripping with southern molasses.
When Morgan Wallen said some people like to make a little fun of the way I talk,
The
I was
way I
dang.
talk.
I felt that. Because half of y'all are steady making fun of me, and half of y'all are weirdly obsessed with the way I talk. I'm dadgum raggedy.
Well, I guess
I
those
love it.
tea
She
drinking
dresses like a
Franciscan
Georgia
monks
peach.
in the 1500s can be blamed for all the sweetness. But bad news. They say the classic accent has been fading more and more and going in the direction of a California accent. Unless you're
That is
in
true.
this city, they have their own thing going on.
Like that, you won't understand what I'm saying.
Atlanta.
I just said
Atlanta.
It's like 5 words.
He's from
in one.
Atlanta.
I ain't gonna tell you either. I can't give away the lingo. That's the crazy part about it.
Yo.
It's like 5 words in one. I just told you. Like,
yeah.
And I just have to mention a zombie apocalypse somewhere, which apparently
Yeah,
all
there
goes
it
down
is.
right here. So if you want to survive, better make the right friends.
Yep,
And with that
Walking Dead was
outrageous
shot in
clue, I shall
Georgia.
leave you the answer. We are in the Peach State,
Yeah.
Georgia.
That
We're
was the
almost
easy
at the
one.
one that's so hard, maybe 2 of you will get it. But first, my favorite.
We got water in the man trip we was riding. We was in the back of it, and that water was 12 bricks of water backed up. And it just blowed that coal out just like a explosion, you know.
Go on, rewind that and try again. It's okay, I did it about
I
a
could
million
understand
times.
what he was saying. I
an
can't
accent.
place the
Now,
accent.
we might
Not
just
yet.
be in twang country now. It's faster and
Yeah,
more
it is a lot
layered.
more
On this
twang.
man's doorstep is some of the most rugged terrain in the country. Lots of beautiful forests for hiking, mountain biking, whitewater rafting, and singing? What do you think?
Oh, this might be West Virginia. This might be West Virginia. Again, I've never been to West Virginia, so I can't tell you based on just what the accent sounds like.
In
But
many ways, it's a different America here. Coal mining is the center point of
Yeah,
everything. And if
coal.
you know what a holler is, then it'll be an easy guess. They say things like a hunting and a going, and if it all seems a bit ancient to you, well, you're not wrong. It's one of those speech things that came with the immigrants. Can't complain about an accent that helps keep Shakespeare alive in the 21st century, right? But not everyone is so hard to understand.
You be a kid down there and get in trouble down here. Time you get home.
Yeah, look at the mountains.
About 5 people done called you.
that's
mama saying, hey,
that's definitely in the
time
Appalachian
you get there, they
area.
are waiting on you. Everybody knows everybody. It's not a good thing sometimes.
Everybody knows everybody.
Stuff like that now, but there used to be. That stuff's probably that probably stuff come in the 90s.
Okay.
Yeah,
So it's gotten better in that sense.
Oh yeah, it's gotten better and better and better.
Got their
I've been
monsters
gone
in their
a bunch-
trucks.
A few times, and I always end up back.
Always end
Love
up
it.
back.
Let's try a different accent from another part of town.
Back in that war, well, when the mines shut down, the country and the economy was down, people left and everything. Business,
Damn, he low key sounds like he's from the
business shut
bayou.
down. At one time, person could buy anything you wanted here in Welchie. If you left Welchie because you wanted to quit, all kinds of different grocery stores, cash stands, bus terminals.
The
One of the
mountains
most
give it
fascinating
away.
things about this legendary region is the stories. They have a tradition of passing down stories in the form of ballads, which are stories told through song. It began in Britain and traveled with the settlers to the mountains here and got all these other beautiful influences mixed in. Only difference is, in this part of the world, the stories are all true. And this is how they kept their history alive, not in books, but in song. Come on, guys, pull up your britches and take a wild guess. What is the accent?
Get on the water and enjoy a high-tech scavenger hunt.
I'm gonna say West Virginia. I was wrong the first time I said that, but I think I'm right now.
There's so many things to experience here in Mate 1 that you'll need more than one day to do it.
It's the only state completely within the Appalachian Mountain region.
Mhm.
The mountain
Okay,
state,
there we
West
go.
Virginia.
Yep.
How many accents was that?
Makes sense.
7
Bonus
One
round.
time, my grandmother, she was up in the 80s, and she wanted to see that movie, Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah. What, another mountain man with a beard? Let's find someone else, because I heard this state is so diverse, you might think you died and went to dialect heaven.
Well, did you see that the wind moving them trees? And I say blow them trees. That's all it done.
That's a thick one, boy.
Look at the river. Look how high it's standing.
Any clues from this? The
Get the
amazing thing
river.
about this state is each geographic region has a unique dialect, but there's a special one. See if you can identify it.
A cup of Ehrlich is actually coffee with sugar in it, you know.
November.
Oh my God. I didn't think it was going to be on the list. Y'all, I know this one. This is home. Y'all. I'm gonna let the accent play out a little bit more, but they already said something that let me know where we are, because I don't think anybody else says this. I haven't heard this in a while. He just said Ehrlich. Y'all probably don't even know what that is. This is home. I'm not gonna say where it is yet. I'll give it a few more accents.
Okay, that's some folks call them a slingshot, but it's just what we would take a forked branch, cut it off, put rubber bands on it, put a rock in it. But that's a Juvember.
To me, when your mama something, you like treat it bad. You like just mess over it.
This guy right here. This guy sounds like everybody in my family, at least on my mom's side of the family. So this is 110,000% North Carolina. You cannot tell me it is not. And this is where I was born and raised. This is a North Carolina Southern accent. And I see he's got native stuff in the background. He's probably Lumbee.
You make a mess of it.
The accent is mostly Southern with a few vowel differences.
Well, when he got halfway that little ditch on this side, before he come out of the room.
Well, that word was different. So who are these fascinating folk? The locals and the historians tell an incredible story of a mystery out here that has never ever been solved.
Oh, this is a good one. If you guys have never heard of this.
Oh, we're always going to be together. And then she'll get behind me and we'll walk in the same pipe.
He's got to be talking about Croatoan. Yeah, those are Lumbee.
In 1584, about 100 English people were left stranded on an island just off the coast, and they created a colony. There were big clashes with the indigenous people, so when the rescue ship finally came, they went back to England, all except 15 of them who were left behind. When the ship returned,
they had all vanished. Nobody was there.
Completely vanished, and all that was left was the bones of just.
And then they wrote Croatoan in the tree.
A mysterious message carved on a post. It's one of the great legends of American history.
We got our own little slang, like coffee. I may say coffee sometime.
That's
I may say Alec. You don't know what Alec is.
They don't say that much around here, but
coffee.
I've heard that
everybody's
before.
Hey, my cousin. Everybody's your cousin.
Yeah. Everybody love to claim cousins, bro.
You know, we got to find out who your people is. Cousins makes dozens, but not this cousin.
Yo.
Later,
no, she did not say that.
Descendants were discovered speaking English with a lot of words mixed in from various tribal languages. Today, they speak English similarly to the rest of the region, but with their own interesting little twists.
It's quite funny that y'all ain't never heard.
Y'all ain't never heard.
Some of the words that we say, like Pa Daddy, Jack. I call my little boy Daddy Rab. Y'all might not know what that means, but it's just something to say.
Hey, yo.
Yeah,
the Lumbee. Yeah. Hey, that's my city right there. Yo, let's go. Okay, so that was interesting. So I got a few of them right. I got a few of them wrong. But I was not expecting North Carolina to be on the list. Tell me what you guys think. Do you guys think that accent is hard to understand? I don't really think that the North Carolina Southern accent is all that hard to understand. So, like I was saying earlier, I'm from the biggest city in my state, which is Charlotte. So I don't have that much of an accent. It does come out more when I'm around family members. So, like my mom, who is from Gastonia, which is about 15-20 minutes outside of Charlotte, they talk like this out there. Just about everybody in my mom's side of the family, my aunts, my cousins, my uncles, they all talk like this. You got a little bit more of the twang, which is a bit of a faster talk in the South. In the northern parts of the South, you get a little more of that twang rather than the drawl that you'll get down in like Georgia, which is where my dad is from. And so it's so interesting to hear that accent and just to be able to immediately pick it up. Now, I know for a lot of you might hear all those accents and be like, that sounds the same to me. And for me, for the most part, it does. They do sound the same, very much the same, but there are slight differences in the cadence, the vernacular that you use, just the way you say certain things. It always adds that tiny little bit of difference that kind of lets you know where people are from, except for Louisiana. Like, Louisiana is so vastly different that, like, I feel like anybody can pick that out of a crowd. Man, that was so interesting. So I'm curious to see if any of you guys are able to guess, or do I sound like I have an accent? Like, unless I actually throw on the twangs and the draws, do I sound like I have an accent? I don't know. I don't think so. But I am curious to hear what you guys have to say about that. And as well, if you have any other things that you want me to react to that are similar to this, It can be about the South, it can be about the States, it can be about other countries. I do want to react to more stuff like this because I find it fascinating and I find it fun to do because I had a blast with this one. But yeah, that's gonna do it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Remember to drink some water, and if no one's told you today, just know that I love you. Peace out, everybody.